Welcome, my name is God Kid Bonesman. Let's talk about the sense of leadership, the act of leadership, the practice of leadership. That I really I understand that a lot of people have desire to be leaders, and it's a good thing. As a matter of fact, we are all born to be leaders. That nobody was born to be a follower. So when you are a follower and you don't see yourself to be a leader, it means that it's either you don't understand the concept of leadership, or you have an issue when it comes to your purpose identification. Because no man that has discovered his purpose is a follower. All leaders are men of purpose. You can have people following you without a purpose. You only have the position of a leader, but you are not a leader. There are two different things. There is a state of having a position of a leader, and there is another state of being a leader. That you can have the position of a leader and yet not be a leader. And you can be a leader without a position of a leader. But let me tell you this. When you have become the leader, you become the office. When you become a leader, you become the office. That means that leadership is not defined by the outward endorsement. That leadership is defined by the inward conclusion, the inward satisfaction, the inward discovery, your true identity. That is where the leadership lies. That means that when you don't have an experience of your true self, you are not yet a leader. So you can be born into a royal house, you can be born into a royal home, and yet not be a leader. Because you have not discovered your purpose. That leadership is found in purpose. So when you're able to discover your purpose, you know you are a leader. So men of vision are men of purpose, and men of purpose are leaders. Men of vision are men of purpose, and men of purpose are men in the office of leadership. And they are leaders. So if you don't have a purpose mindset, then you don't have a leadership mindset. Because leaders does not just operate, leaders does not just move. They move according to the driven passion, which is coming from the discovered purpose. So if you cannot discern your hidden purpose that has been planted within you, then you are not ready to be a leader. So you might be given a group of people for you to handle them, and that is giving you the office of a leader, but you yourself, you are not a leader. Because leadership is about purpose. Leadership is not about ruling people. And that has been the greatest misconception about leadership that, is in the system. Because everybody think that, look, If I don't have people following me, that means I'm not a leader, and which is error, because it takes purpose to define a true leader. That true leaders are driven by purpose, not emotions. True leaders are driven not just by ambitions. No. That they have been able to ascend to their original nature, and they have downloaded their nature and say, look, this is my caliber, and this is what I am meant. This is what purpose defines my destiny. So therefore I am walking on that lane. That is a man of leader. So a man of leadership, and a man who is a leader, is not afraid to be on a lonely road. As a matter of fact, true leaders start their journey lonely, but they don't end lonely. Because there is no vision and there is no purpose that ends alone. The end product of every vision affects the multitude. The end product of every mission and vision affects the multitude. But oftentimes, for a vision to start, it starts with the leader. That means that until you discover your purpose and your mission, you are not yet a leader. And as a result of that, that creates that followership concept in your mind. Leadership is an amazing thing. And when you understand the concept of leadership, you will always be in charge. The reason why you are careless about your destiny and your future is because probably you don't understand the concept of leadership, and you haven't discovered your purpose and your mission. And so therefore you actually don't know the right actions to be taken. But I am here to tell you that the day you discover your mission, the day you discover your purpose, the day you discover your destiny, the day you discover who you are and where you are going and where you will find yourself, that very day you become a leader. True leaders don't seek for people's followership before he acts. True leadership acts based on purpose, and purpose attracts followership. The reason why you start on a lonely road is because your purpose attracts other purpose, because every purpose is interconnected. Whatever answer another time. Purpose is the definition of leadership. That is why you can hit your hand on your chest and tell the whole world that you are a leader. Not because you have billions of people following you. No. It's because you have a defined mission. You have a defined mindset. You have a defined destiny. You have a defined purpose. So therefore you are a leader. You are not ordinary. No. You are not ordinary. Men of vision are never ordinary people. The act of leadership. So when immediately you define your vision, immediately you define your mission, immediately you define your ambitions, and you define your destination in life, you are able to disclose where you are going and where you are from. Immediately you come to that point of disclosure. Boom! You become a leader. Boom! You become a leader. That is how it works. Vision defines leadership. Purpose is leadership. Men of purpose are men called into leadership. That everybody has that license to become a leader. But it takes only men who have concluded that I have to become a leader. And I've discovered their mission, and I've discovered their vision, and I've discovered their purpose. Until you discover your mission and your purpose, you cannot be considered as a leader. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? You can never be considered as a leader when you haven't discovered your mission, when you haven't discovered your purpose, when you haven't discovered where you are going to and how far you want to go. No matter the number of people following you, you are still a follower. No matter the number of people who are rushing after you, you are still a follower, because leaders have vision. Leaders have ambitions. And one thing I'll talk about in other videos is that leaders have principles. Every true leader has principles. Because when you have purpose, your purpose will define your principles. If you are purposeless, principle does not matter to you. But men of purpose and men of vision have their limitations drawn to them. They have their principles drawn to them. And that is what they live by. They live by their principles because that is how they are able to define who they are. Men of leadership are men of principle, the act of leadership.